Yesterday it snowed, and you can see we got a couple inches of snow, and unlike normal, this is actually powdered snow and not ice. So this is a real bonus for us. We don't normally get snow. We usually get a combination of sleet and ice. So since we have all this beautiful weather, I thought I'd take the opportunity to come out and do some boil test. It's 12 degrees out here. The winds are 15 plus miles. So let me get set up and we'll do that. Okay, so I'm set up here to do a boil test. I have my BS 2.0 aluminum bottle stove that I make, and I have some relief marks on here. I just took a file and hit this, and what that does is helps with the cold weather. I do not have no wrap. If you want, I'm using a piece of carbon felt as just an insulator, because this big metal grill would just be a big heat sink. So I am using some carbon felt, part of the carbon felt windscreen underneath that. I'm going to be using my BS 22 ounce beer can replacement cook pot, and I just packed some snow in here. But I'm also going to add water to that, because I don't think that snow is going to equal 2 cups. And sometimes the snow just kind of evaporates before it melts. So I've got approximately 2 cups of water in there. And you can see this took about 8 ounces. So that snow was only about 8 ounces. And I don't know if you can see, but the snow was only about 8 ounces. That's frozen. I think my thermometer's stuck on 33 degrees for some reason. It's 12 degrees out here, like I said before. I'm going to be using Heet gas line antifreeze. And when I'm using ice water, I'm going to be using 2 ounces of fuel. And in the past, 2 ounces of fuel is normally enough to bring solid ice up to boil, so I think we'll be okay there. Now it's going to take longer to bloom because it's colder outside, but we'll just kind of look at this. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this clock here? We'll kind of look at this clock to set the see how long it takes to bloom, and I'll set the timer when we actually start to bloom. So we're at 8:55, 10, something like that. 8:55, 15. Okay, so the stove's lit. You can't really see it, but I can see stuff going on inside. You have to be careful with alcohol stoves, especially in daylight, because you can't see the flame. So it doesn't matter so much when you're outside in 12-degree weather, because you actually want some of that heat. But in the summertime or in the springtime, you want to just be careful. Always just kind of wave your hand across the top about 6 to 8 inches. See if you feel any heat, and before you go grabbing at stuff. So I'm going to be using a carbon felt windscreen, and very loosely around the stove. I found that if you put it real tight, it consumes more fuel. It doesn't burn clean, and it kind of smothers the flames. You got to let the flames breathe. So I leave it loose if I'm going to use one. The wind out here is got gust about 12 to 15 miles an hour, I think, is what they said on the news. So it is fairly windy at times. So The thermometer earlier wasn't registering all, it just said low. This is a cooking type thermometer, so it's not really made for cold. Okay, so it looks like I think we're blooming. It's hard to tell. Okay. So I put it on at about 2 minutes to bloom. About 2 minutes to bloom. It was about 8:50, 8:15 or so. So it took a minute longer to bloom in 12-degree weather. Turn this around. I'm using the stove as a big windbreak as well. So it looks like we're about 3 minutes in, and not sure exactly how long this is going to take. We started out with 33-degree ice cold water, so we will see. I'll probably end up editing some of this video out. Nobody wants to just sit here the whole time and watch water boil. It's going to take longer than it does with room temp water, or 60-degree water and in room temperatures. But I get emails quite often from people asking if it'll work when it's real cold, and I've never had a problem. So we'll check back a little further in when the temperature gets up to closer to boiling. Okay, we're back rolling, and you can see the temperature's coming up. We're at 18 minutes. I'm afraid we're going to about be out of fuel here, because I'm hoping it'll get to 212 before the fuel runs out. Usually runs about 20 minutes on 2 ounces. So we'll see if we get there. We're pretty close. I mean, we're close enough, but I'd like to see it get all the way to boiling. It may already be boiling by this point. Okay, yeah, so we're boiling. It's about 19, a little over 19 minutes we had a boil. So there you have it. And I think we're out of fuel. Yep, we're out of fuel. Okay, so there you go. So I just wanted to demonstrate that it will work in cold weather. Like I said, it's 12 degrees, snow everywhere. It's pretty cold. It's too cold for me to be out in it. And I don't suspect too many people purposely go hiking in this weather, but if you do, stay warm. So I'm Sam at BatchStovez. Thank you for all your support in 2013. I've got a few ideas for some different stoves coming up this year, and probably be adding some new cook pots. Got some ideas for that too. So we'll see. So I appreciate all your support. Thank you for watching the videos. Have a great day.